Welcome to this explainer, everyone. Have you ever wondered what actually happens when the lights go out? Like when you close your eyes, you might think your brain is just powering down for the night, right? But actually, it's kind of putting on its superhero cape and heading down into a secret dream lab to get to work.
So picture this. As you get all tucked into bed, your body gets ready to rest. First, your muscles relax. They basically turn to soft mush. Then your heartbeat slows down to this gentle, quiet thump, thump. And finally, your breathing just calms right down into a slow, steady rhythm. You are officially asleep.
But wait, while your body is totally snoozing, your brain is wide awake. I mean, why does your brain create entire worlds while you sleep? Instead of taking a break, it suddenly starts building these wild experiences. You know, where you can fly through the clouds or meet imaginary creatures or just find yourself falling from the sky. It's a massive mystery.
Okay, let's dive into this. Before we crack the case, we need to know exactly what we're investigating here. A dream is basically a series of images, thoughts, emotions, and sensations created by your brain while you sleep. To put it simply, it's an incredible homemade movie produced entirely inside your own head.
Now get ready for a pretty surprising number, 4 to 6. You might wake up in the morning thinking, I didn't dream at all last night. But scientists estimate you actually have 4 to 6 dreams every single night. Seriously, your brain is practically a movie theater, just pumping out show after show, even if you forget them the literal minute you open your eyes.
And honestly, it gets even crazier. 2. That's how many hours you might spend dreaming every single night. So if you sleep for 8 hours, an entire quarter of that time is spent in dreamland without you even remembering most of it. That is a staggering amount of nighttime activity happening right behind your eyelids.
Which brings us to clue number 1. Meet REM sleep.
You see, sleep isn't just one long, boring nap. It's a journey through different stages, and REM is for sure the most exciting destination. So what exactly does REM stand for? It stands for rapid eye movement. And get this, if you were to gently watch someone sleeping during this stage, you'd actually see their eyes darting around back and forth really quickly underneath their closed eyelids. They're literally looking around inside the world of their dream. How cool is that?
But here's where things get incredibly strange. During REM sleep, the brain is highly active, like almost as busy as it is right now while you're wide awake listening to this explainer. But the body's muscles are completely temporarily paralyzed, just frozen. It's kind of like your brain is running a marathon while your body is turned to stone.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Being paralyzed sounds a little scary, right? But it's actually an automatic safety feature, just like buckling your seatbelt in a car. This temporary freezing stops you from accidentally running or jumping or, throwing punches in your bed while you dream about fighting a ninja dragon. It keeps you perfectly safe right there under the covers.
Which brings us to our next major question. Why does the brain do all this hard work at night? If the body is taking a well-deserved break to rest and grow, why doesn't the brain just clock out and go to sleep too? Like, why stay up producing 2 whole hours of rapid eye movement movies?
Well, let's uncover clue number 2, your brain's night job. So the crucial point is that during the day, your brain is super busy helping you walk, talk, learn at school, and play with your friends. It literally doesn't have time to clean up. So the nighttime, that's its busy night shift, where it finally tackles its very important nightly to-do list, organizing memories, processing emotions, and practicing solving problems. Let's break these down, because the way your brain handles this whole shebang is fascinating. Okay, let's look at that first chore, organizing memories. Imagine your bedroom after a really long, busy day of playing. Toys are everywhere, right? Well, your brain is exactly like that messy room. While you dream, your brain is keeping the important facts, like, putting your absolute favorite toys back on the shelf, and it's tossing out the junk you just don't need to remember anymore. It's doing a nightly sweep to keep your memory sharp.
But hold on, if it's just organizing files and putting away toys, why are dreams so completely bonkers? I mean, have you ever talked to someone in a dream and then suddenly they just disappeared? Or maybe your math teacher turned into a giant talking squirrel? Seriously, try to remember the wackiest, most illogical thing that has ever happened in your dreams. Pretty silly, right?
And that brings us to clue number 3. Why are dreams so weird? We know the brain is doing important chores, like sorting memories and processing big feelings from the day. But why does it have to use giant flying squirrels to do it? Well, I want to introduce you to a big science word to find out. The prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain that controls logical thinking and decision-making. You can kind of think of it as the brain's strict logic boss. It's the part that usually tells you, hey, humans can't fly, or dogs don't actually speak Spanish.
But guess what happens during REM sleep? The logic boss goes on break. That's right, the prefrontal cortex becomes way less active. It basically packs its bags, puts on a pair of sunglasses, and takes a much-needed vacation while you're busy sleeping.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens next. With logic out of the way, the areas of your brain responsible for emotions, images, and memories become highly active. They essentially throw a wild party. The imaginative parts of your brain are left completely unsupervised. So they just start mixing up faces, places, and feelings into this bizarre, magical smoothie of a story. That is exactly why it seems perfectly normal to be flying to school on a piece of pizza until you wake up, of course.
All right, detectives. It looks like we are reaching the end of our investigation. Case closed, dream myths and brain health.
So, we've solved the mystery of what dreams are, when they happen, and why they're so delightfully weird. But before we finish up our explainer today, we really need to bust a major myth and look at why dreaming is truly important. First, a big question for you. Can dreams predict the future? You know, for thousands of years, all throughout history, people have believed that dreams were magical messages or secret warnings about things that haven't happened yet. Like, if you dream about acing your math test, does it mean you definitely will?
Well, the answer is nope. There is absolutely no reliable scientific evidence that dreams can predict the future. The truth is, your brain just loves searching for patterns. Sometimes things happen by pure coincidence, and your pattern-loving brain tricks you into thinking, wow, no way, I dreamed about that. But really, it's just your clever brain connecting the dots after the fact.
So, sure, dreams aren't crystal balls, but they are incredibly important for your health. If you don't get enough REM sleep, like if you miss out on your dream time, you can actually have problems with your memory, concentration, learning, and even your mood. Dreaming isn't just for fun, guys. It's literally the superhero training your brain needs so you don't wake up feeling grumpy, forgetful, and super cranky. In fact, your brain is so smart that if it misses out on dream time, it does something called REM rebound. This is when the brain enters REM sleep much more quickly the very next night just to make up for all that lost dreaming. It literally rushes back to the dream lab because it knows just how absolutely crucial those nighttime chores really are. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final exciting question to think about. What will your brain's secret night lab create tonight? The human brain is still one of the greatest mysteries in the universe, and every single night is a brand new adventure. Never stop asking questions and exploring, because every great discovery begins with curiosity. Sleep tight, have fun in the Dream Lab, and keep on learning.